are here on Motivation Monday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. You never, ever have to miss a show. Why? Because you can go online right now at tglradioshow.com. Well, don't go now because I'm live. But actually, if you're not around me and you do want to see me live, you can do that too. tglradioshow.com. Hit the live button and you can see what's going on right here in the studio. We're live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. And if you've ever, did you miss a show last week? If you did, you can go on tglradioshow.com as well. You can catch up on our shows. You can share them. You can do all kinds of things. Join the movement. Join the family. Join the good life. Why? Because it is the good life. Now, y'all know I always have a theme for every week. And so if you have been paying attention or following the show, which I'm sure you better have been, or just don't tell me that you didn't. These past couple of weeks have been Ask, and then last week was Believe, and so this week is what? This week is Receive, and so I'm really excited about it. Why? Because this is the one I generally have problems with, and it is a process, and you have to go through the 3 steps for it to manifest: ask, believe, receive. So since this was the one I had problems with, I was like, let me kind of write some notes down and really kind of get into it. So that's what I'm going to do for our first segment. I'm going to break down kind of the art of receiving, or I should say the neglected art of receiving. In our second segment, we will have Bishop Henry Bolden. Y'all know he always drops the knowledge and drops, some nuggets of information for us to marinate in our hearts and our souls and send us off for this Motivation Monday. And last but not least, we will have the SBA in the building. I'm really excited about it because international trade is something that, sometimes it seems that, we tiptoe around, or like we don't want to export, but we really need to receive this information so we can grow our businesses. So we have SBA in the studio with us today, and I'm really excited about it. So make sure you stay tuned to the entire show because there is something here for you. So with the art of receiving, or shall I say the neglected art of receiving, I found my my article on psychologytoday.com that kind of gave me some tips behind it that I could share to you, because so often we don't know how to let love in, or we don't know how to, receive. Like, how many people are uncomfortable when someone gives them a compliment? I know I always felt like I had to say something in response. Like, if they were like, oh, they like something. Oh, well, I like this on you. You always feel like you have to do it back. Do you have to? Do you not have to? Why do you feel that way? What is going on there? There's certain people who love to give, but it's really uncomfortable receiving. So we're going to break that down in so many different ways this week. Of course, today's Motivation Monday. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow. That is Relationship Tuesday. That's always fun. Receiving, that'll be an interesting conversation. I'll let your imaginations go. And then Wellness Wednesday, the art of receiving, we will have Bobby Clark Alexander from the ATL. She's my life coach. She's yours. She will be here as well. We will have Bashan Jordan of Tiger Rock NOLA. We will have Gumbo Talk. And of course, we will have Freedom Friday, where we drop our bags and we really open ourselves up to receiving and figure out maybe why we've had so many uncomfortable situations receiving. And then, by the end of the week, we will all hopefully feel a little bit better, at least have a better understanding of maybe why this has been an uncomfortable situation in your life. Because you know what? We're taught that giving is superior to receiving. I know everybody's heard that, giving is superior to receiving. And indeed, the art of giving is a helpful corrective to human narcissism. Seeing what others need to be happy requires empathy and kindness. It does, but receiving is an equally notable behavior. And you're like, huh? It is, and too many times people gloss over it. There is an art to receiving. We may strive to love, but to what extent do we allow ourselves to be loved? In our everyday lives, and I've talked about this, as a mom, I give so much of myself, and then I'm like, I'm worn out. But we forget that we need to receive that love as well, and it begins with giving it to ourselves. So we're really going to get into the ourselves conversation on Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned in that to that show. But when someone extends attention and caring towards us, I should say, how deeply do we actually let it in? Can we allow ourselves to be nourished by another person's kindness? Receiving deeply provides needed nutrients for our soul. And y'all know we open our minds to living differently in the world. And we're going to do that right here this week and every week. We also honor the giver when we receive. How many times have you received something and maybe because you were uncomfortable and didn't necessarily let it settle into your spirit, the giver was like, they didn't even appreciate, me doing that for them. But you did, but it just didn't come off that way. And then there was like maybe a misunderstanding, but it was because maybe you were uncomfortable on the receiving end. Receiving deeply provides needed nutrients for our souls. So we want to make sure that, we also make the giver feel like they've made a difference in our lives by accepting and receiving their gift. Being mindful of some things that we're about to get into, which is 3. We're going to talk about getting out of our head and being relaxed in our body. We're going to talk about not questioning whether we deserve what we are receiving, and third, but definitely not least, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. You're like, what? Yes, the art of receiving is actually allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I know that sounds a little, but I'm going to give them to you. So number 1, get out of your head and be relaxed in your body. When someone does us a favor or compliments us, sometimes we might feel awkward or shy or not know how to respond. We might think we're being required to reciprocate. We might wonder, must I now do them a favor or compliment them? Are they expecting something in return? Do they really deserve this? Do I really deserve this kindness? Such thoughts keep us imprisoned in our head, and negative self-talks keep us depressed, disconnected, and absolutely miserable. And so you can recognize these things when someone may give you a compliment, or you did a good job at work, or not being able to appreciate the work that you've put in, like, oh, it's never enough. Well, receive that into your own soul, and it will grow you as well. So the trick is to next time someone gives you something, or gives you a compliment or a present or whatever it may be. It could be a cup of coffee. Take a deep breath and let it be. I want you to relax. Don't trouble yourself about how to try to figure it out. Don't overthink it. Just receive it. Just let it in. The trick is to get out of your head and to stay exactly where you are. How do you feel? How does your stomach feel? How does your chest feel? With gifted with kindness. Some people feel like all tight, or you feel like you got to catch your breath, or you're like, if thoughts are swirling, simply notice them and then let them go. Do not don't overreact. Well, initially, pop back with a compliment to them. And I know that may seem uncomfortable and sound a little crazy, but it's the truth. If someone says, I like your hair, I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. Simply say thank you. Show some gratitude instead of, popping right back with, something just as a response. Oh, well, I like your shoes. Well, you didn't really like the shoes. You're just uncomfortable in the moment, and you're trying to respond. So we want you to, just accept it and simply say thank you. Number 2, don't question whether you deserve it. Sometimes we don't absorb good stuff because we simply think we don't deserve it. We might think that if they really knew me, they wouldn't say that. Or, if they really knew me, I get the eyes compliment, and, I love your, thank you. And I'm like, and it's funny because I used to say, it was like, I can't even see my eyes. People look at them, but I can't see them because, only time I see them is when I'm brushing my teeth or doing my hair, whatever, being funny. But, just take the compliment. You like, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I was a gift from God, and I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to receive the compliment and just let it settle into my spirit instead of feeling like I have to respond, or feeling like, I haven't done much for them, or, I don't deserve this favor, or whatever it may be. It's easy to drive ourselves absolutely nuts with endless considerations of what you shouldn't have, what you could have done, or whatever. Lost in the folds of our thought process. But the beauty of the gift slips out of our hands when we do that. The giver may notice our distraction and not feel appreciated for what they've done for us. Then we've killed the whole situation. We've absolutely killed it. So we can drive ourselves crazy pondering whether we deserve something or not. And who's to say whether we don't? Because so many times, what we talked about last week, believing, we have false beliefs about ourselves. And what if other people are delivering compliments for us to break those false beliefs? I could say, Henry, I love the way you dress today, because he always has something to say about how he dresses. And he doesn't like to be on camera, and I'm messing with him because he's on the other side of the glass right now. But he doesn't like to be on camera. I'm like, why not, Henry? And he's like, I don't like my hair today, or I don't like my this. And I'm like, Henry, you look amazing. Receive the compliment, Henry. Look, he's shaking his head. I can't wait till you get in for the second segment, because I'm going to light you up. Receive the compliment. Yes, I'm working on you too, mind, body, and soul. Don't think, the co-host here, that we're here every day offering information, but we're working on it too. And we're on this same journey. We are all in it together. Questioning the gift someone gives you actually diminishes the power of offering. It's an important part of self-worth to validate, and it's okay to receive things. It is okay. Being human means having needs and wants, which includes being valued and being appreciated. No doubt we have ample flaws and limitations. I can count the ways, but when we're given a gift and it's not the best time to ponder them, that's just not the time for you to count everything that's wrong with you when someone is telling you something nice, or someone is offering something, or someone has done you a favor. They've done it out of the kindness of their heart. Simply say thank you. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but just maintain yourself and your thought process and simply say thank you. Thank you. We're not skilled at the art of receiving good stuff when it comes our way. How many of us are like, so much bad stuff happened, I don't even know how to act when something good happens? Honestly, that's a lot of people. Well, you may not know how to act when something good happens. Well, here's the deal. If we can start changing that process, it starts by little things like simply accepting a compliment. We can change those little things that will create those big things, and that is the good life. And so last but not least, allowing yourself to receive requires you to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Ooh, that's that word. I know y'all don't like it, but I love it. I used to not like the word. I used to absolutely be like, I hate the word vulnerable. But now it's one of my favorite words. I'm authentic, I'm vulnerable, and I'm living in peace and happiness and joy and in harmony and balance. And I offer it all to you. When we're firmly in control, I told y'all I used to have control issues. I still work on it here now. Whatever, people who know me. I said we're firmly in control when we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable. But when we're so much in control, we cannot receive. Think about that. Being the recipient of a kind word or deed can trigger a sense of vulnerability. And so that's generally what's making you uncomfortable. Receiving requires the strength to be vulnerable. Yes, let that sink in. And I had to realize that it was my pride that didn't allow me to receive. And I was like, that just sounds crazy. I like to give, Yes, but the giver is in control. To receive, you have to be vulnerable. Yes, open your mind to that nugget of information I just dropped, because it was a lot for me. Let's just say when, a tender moment arises during a conversation. Perhaps, there's a parent who's ill, and we let someone tender, caring, in, and we do a look away of shame or, embarrassment. Well, they were trying to be kind and offer, kind words, and we turned our head and we're like, that's awkward. We struggle and, hoping to find kind and receptive ear. And then, when someone offers a kind-hearted response, we talk over it. Think about that. If you offer someone a kind word and they talk over it, how does that make you feel? Well, when someone is offering it to you, it does the same thing. So we want to allow ourselves to slow down and to welcome vulnerability into our lives. I'm not kidding, y'all. It's kind of like Neosporin for the soul. It truly, truly is. So I want you to open your mind to look for opportunities to let love and kindness in when it comes your way. And it might be as simple as someone holding a door open for you, or a genuine interest in hearing about, something that's troubling you, when someone asks you how your day is, instead of saying good or give a one-word answer, receive the information, receive the dialogue, and open yourself up. Be a little vulnerable. You never know what can happen. You may find some peace, happiness, and joy. Imagine that. It's a good life, y'all. We are going to take a quick break, so y'all know what the week is about, and I'm really excited about it. We're going to receive this week, and so we're going to receive Bishop Henry Bolden in the studio right now so he can drop some nuggets of information on us and motivate us for this Monday. So do not move. Do not turn your dial, and if you want to see what's going on in studio, again, tglradioshow.com. We'll be right back. Good morning, y'all. How are you? Hi. Good morning. Are you going to receive a Henry, you look so handsome today.
I always look handsome. No, that's the opposite way, see?
You do. You are always handsome.
Well, thank you so much. I graciously received that from you.
Do y'all see what I'm dealing with up in here? Any other time, he's like, any other time, he doesn't literally want to be on camera, but here's what we're going to do. Somebody gave us a comment. They said, don't let life outpace your patience and be perfect in your stride of giving and your purpose of living. Yes, Daniel. Thank you so much. Look, I hit the little button. Don't let it. Oh, yeah, he did it again. Thank you. Oh, I pinned it. That's why. Thank you, Daniel. That's amazing. Yes, Daniel. Love it. Oh, let me go on Facebook. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I don't have it on here. Oh, let me upload it. Because I deleted it. Y'all, I got my son's iPad today instead of my own. Long story, but, long story. Oh, y'all see? I know I don't stink because, y'all, I had the best weekend. So if y'all follow me on social media, my son gave me a $200 gift card to Ulta, which is like, makeup, hair.
She loves all that stuff.
Happiness. Well, I hadn't really gone and bought anything for myself in a while. Honestly, I've just been trying to take care of business. And so he was like, I want you to treat yourself. He's like, you never do anything for yourself. So I had a plum ball in there going off. So I know. I was like, I know I smell good. I was like, I know I smell good. I know I do. I got, what did I get? I got one of the Juicy Couture, and at first I didn't think I'd like it, but I loved it. And I got a Vera Wang Glam Princess. I'm a Glam Princess by Vera Wang. Yeah. And then I got some J something Malone, but that was from somewhere else. But anyway, yeah. So
y'all see all
the
this?
Naturalness.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Why is your lighting better than mine? See?
What's my name? True story. My name means light.
It really does.
It does. So, yeah. I know. Wait, I'm trying to upload Facebook so I can share it on the other things. But receiving, and I mean, we joke and stuff, and we're not going to put the mic in your face. We're going to make sure we put it so he can, oh, look, I'm all up in the camera. So he's, yes. Oh, wait.
I'll lean it that way. Okay.
Oh, wait, you have headphones.
Oh.
Let's see. You know what? Yeah, because I'm going to take these and put these here. So you can put that there. Yes, y'all, we're in the break. Y'all, they are so getting their stuff together. Yes, don't think we're crazy. Just
the behind the scenes stuff.
It is the behind the scenes stuff. We talking so much, we're not putting ourselves together.
Yeah.
But yes, receiving, it's an art. Your hair is perfect. I love your hair.
I can't take it. I can't take all the receipts, and it's.
You're just not used to that many compliments in a day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them to you all show.
I never get compliments, That's wow.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Motivation Monday, and we're here to open your mind.
We're here.
We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. You never have to miss a show. Why? Because we have Motivation Monday, Relationship Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Gumbo Talk Thursday, and Freedom Friday. That's where we open our minds, we drop our bags, we drop our fear and shame and guilt and all the nastiness. Right?
Yes, absolutely. All of it.
Yes, I had an amazing weekend. I received, speaking of receiving, like, y'all know my mom. And so, sometimes we don't take care of ourselves the way we need to. We always are giving. So my birthday was Wednesday, and I have literally the most amazing son. I mean, I'm sure y'all think yours is amazing, but, I think mine's amazing too. So long story short, he got me a $200 gift certificate to Ulta with his own money. And so it was really weird because I'm not used to like just, and so nonetheless, I had a ball. And I went shopping all by myself and, took over and literally got all new everything. And he was like, I had to put in, I just got all new everything. And so he was like, so now you could throw that other stuff away. I think, he comes in my bathroom. He's like, throw that away. So anyway, I had an amazing weekend receiving. And it felt weird because I'm going to be honest, because this is how much I still have a control issue. I went home. Because I got like perfume and everything. I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well just do it big. So I knew he wanted cologne. And so do you know that when I left, he had a cologne. Then he had like the tester box of like all this stuff so he could like see which one he wanted. And then I got him some clothes. Like, I still had issues with receiving. Yeah. Isn't that terrible? Yeah. But I was just happy because like he made me happy, so I wanted to make him happy too. But then when I really thought about it, I was like, I still have issues with receiving. Yeah. And you're not in your head. Yeah, and I said the story, because I'm happy, and if y'all see me on camera, I'll be like, oh, she got her new stuff on. Yeah, and I smell good. But nonetheless.
It smells really great.
But nonetheless, I wanted to bring that up to Henry because, sometimes people have a difficult time receiving. And when you do that, you kind of block your blessings, don't you?
You absolutely do.
I don't want to block my blessings.
Yeah. Don't do that.
I want them all. Yeah. See, you got to get in the camera. Y'all, he doesn't like the camera. I'm going to push it back and require you. There you go. There he is. So.
Yeah, most people are comfortable in that.
Most people are comfortable what?
In the position of a giver. Mm-hmm. And they're most comfortable in the position of a giver. And ironically enough, it comes from a deep-seated issue of being neglected or slighted.
Oh gosh, I knew you were going to tell all my business on here. But it's okay, go ahead.
It really does. It comes from a really deep-seated issue of neglect or slight. Mm-hmm. And so to prevent myself from being in the position of not getting, I've altered my persona to be that of a giver.
Wow. All right, Henry.
So then I never have to experience any type of disappointment for what I didn't get. I maintain the control of being the giver, which means I get to live.
I like to be in control, like I said.
On my own terms. And so I decide when I give as opposed to wondering when I get or what I get from people I think I should get it from. I maintain the control of it.
There may be some truth to this, Henry. Keep going.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
That's why we have you here. This is why we have you here.
There's a ton of truth to that. There are people, the principle is that you will reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. And so you have to become comfortable. There's no way for you to be a giver without it coming back to you immeasurably, or perhaps through people or avenues that you didn't even expect it to come through. Even the Bible says that you're going to sow even in places you didn't reap. And most of the time we generally restrict that to, okay, I'm going to sow and then I'm going to reap. But I can be nice to somebody in California and that gesture comes back through somebody in Iowa. So it's going to come back to me. So the only way to prevent myself from being a receiver is that I have to shut myself down mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and have to suppress my need to give. See, real genuine givers, they give instinctively. It doesn't have to be your birthday. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be anything contrived. It doesn't have to be anything to do it just to be doing it. I can't help but give. Mm-hmm. That's why givers always have to guard their hearts, because the way we feel love is through giving, not receiving. You can give me 20, 30 gifts. That's fine. But I get more joy out of just being able to put something in your hand that I know is going to make a difference or bless your life immeasurably. And
I don't know if I have much to say. I'm just listening now.
No, talk.
Like, you're right. I don't know what to, I'm like, you're right. There's a lot of people nodding their head out there. And so, I was reading earlier what to do, just to accept things and to say thank you. But once you recognize that this is something that you deal with, because I had to recognize it. And it was a while ago, while that I recognized it. And it like I said, it began with compliments. And I would feel uncomfortable because, the green eye thing. It's hard not to notice it. And so people are like, oh, your eyes. And then you're like, thank you. And then it feels like, no, it doesn't get mundane because I'm blessed. Yeah. God gave me a gift, and so I appreciate it. But you're like, okay, like,
saying thank you.
No, you just feel like, like it said in the first article, like, do I deserve all of this? Like, is it okay to accept it? Like, is there a line where it becomes like narcissistic, or where you know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know?
That's the issue because, I've had people I've counseled, and one of the issues they had is I can't stand for anybody to stare at me. People.
I know.
People stare at me, and
all right, fine, you're bringing up all my issues.
They just look in my eyes, and
I'm like, stop staring.
And really, what that does is subconsciously, it makes you feel as if your flaws are magnified before people. And so, and really, what you're afraid of is somebody changing their initial opinion if they get to see more of you.
Really?
And so that's why most people they'll shut you out, not necessarily for any other reason except that I don't really want you to see what I see. I want you to see what you see because you've only seen at a distance, and
sounds like a therapy session.
That's based on what you're seeing. You've made this great assessment of me, and if I let you get any closer, I'm pretty sure that that perception is going to be warped at that point.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm telling you, I realized this was years ago, and I'm by no means imperfect, but I'm much more whole than I have ever.
Pretty close.
I don't even believe in perfect anymore. Like, look, y'all know I'm in counseling. I believe everybody should do it. Yeah. I learned a new word in counseling. Not a new word, but y'all know what I mean. Relatively. Yeah. Whole. Like, people like, I want to be perfect. Well, there is no perfect. So you can work profession all your life, and it's just not going to happen. It just doesn't exist unless you're Jesus Christ walking the earth. Like, not happening. Yeah. So we need to work on being whole in who we are. And receiving is part of that process.
Absolutely.
Receiving love, because you can't be part of the reason we're here on earth is to be love and to share love and to give love. And so if we never let it in, then we're missing a huge part of life. So, receiving love and loving yourself is, receiving it from yourself as well. Like, even, I said, as a mom, I take care of this, that, and the other, and sometimes I forget to take care of myself. And, him giving me that gift card and saying, Mom, go take care of yourself, was a wake-up call. Like, I haven't done anything for myself in a while. I'm just going to go enjoy my trip to Ulta, and money's not coming out of my wallet. Right. Hello. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's little things, but it could be a walk in the park, by yourself. It could be go and get a snowball. Like, sometimes I just like a snowball, So whatever it is for you, but taking that time, going to see a movie. At first, I didn't even like myself.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but seriously,
like
being alone by myself, like in the house is fine, but like, people would be like, I go to the movie by myself, or I go to dinner by myself. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, But that's like, I can do it now, and I am perfectly content, and I do not, you're too not in a mean way, but like, I'm okay with that. But it took me to recognize it, and that I wasn't receiving love for myself or from others. And so, I offer that to everyone listening today, to open your mind to living differently in your world and receive love from yourself and from your partners, your family, your friends. And here's the trick. When I started receiving love, my relationships with the people around me began to change.
Yes.
And I think that was probably more like, because you always want to be like, oh, well, what's their problem? Well, it wasn't really their problem. It was my problem.
The whole time.
And it wasn't, it wasn't a problem per se, but it was the relationship or, what was missing. And it was the back and forth of love and being open and being vulnerable to that love. Like I spoke of in the first segment, receiving requires you to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
When you're the giver, you're in control.
Yes.
And so when you receive, you are vulnerable. And when you are vulnerable, you can open yourselves and have a genuine, authentic relationship.
And don't try to trump what you receive by giving something bigger so that you can get back in the position of being on top of it.
Wait, what'd you say? I did that.
You actually did, right?
I did that all the time. But not like, I didn't do it consciously.
But it happened like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the proclivity.
Like, even if it's like cooking a dinner or whatever. But my mom was like a Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
So I was, people, and I had a friend say that, I made lunch one day and he's like, you don't just make lunch. He's like, you bring lunch, side dish, cookies,
tea,
a drink, napkins, silverware. And I'm like, isn't that what everybody does? And he's like, no, everybody does not do that. And I was like, well, why not? Like,
Yeah.
I like to make sure everybody's taken care of.
Yeah. Nobody's going to trump you. Now, you can be good to me, but I'm not going to let you be better at being good to me than I am. So.
That is so funny.
Ta-da.
But you are hitting...
Eileen.
I am not the only person that does this, though. But how many people,
I'm actually...
Where if you... Right, you do that, too?
Yeah.
Well, then I have to give you something. Give me something. Here, Henry. Here's a pen.
Right.
I will expect a Mont Blanc in the mail.
Toyota or something, just something.
I will expect my Mont Blanc very soon. Thank you.
Right.
But how many of us out there do that? And it may not, seriously, we may not even think about it. Like, somebody invites you over for dinner. Well, you got to invite them over for a full barbecue next time, or whatever it may be, or, whatever it may be.
It's an esteem and a perspective issue. Because I cannot let your last opinion of me be less than the next opinion of me. And so if I did this, now I've purposely created in you an expectation that only I can fulfill. I gotta be so good to you that nobody else replaces this opinion. So just when you think you got good, I hit you with better. And then when you think you got better, I just lay the best on you. So now I've created this gap of somebody's got to try really hard to make up this to get to where I left you at.
People do that in relationships, huh?
All the time.
Y'all stay tuned for Relation Tuesday tomorrow.
That's a signature move. Yes.
I think people do that in relationships too. Huh?
Yeah. Oh man, I can't even begin to tell you.
People's minds are wondering now.
Stay tuned. But
seriously, I think this opens up. That's why I love having you on Mondays, because you open up and you say stuff that I use like for the rest of the week. Honestly, that's why I keep you around.
You see why I'm going to Hollywood
I'll receive his information.
Save these videos in case you get on TMZ and act like she don't know me and all that stuff.
TMZ? I want to be on Ellen.
All that.
I'll be on the O channel.
It's documented. You said you stuck with me. And I wasn't the friend that got the tea and the crumpets and the leg of lamb and all that stuff she did.
I didn't make you turkey necks and greens?
Nope, that wasn't me. Nope.
Sorry. And I brought hot sauce and everything too, because I knew they liked it.
See, she laid it all thick.
I had fruit. No, that's just what I do.
It's what you do. So now the next time that person
eats
something...
you know what, it's funny, because I just thought it was the mom gene. It's not.
It's really not. No.
All right. You can tell me about myself. I don't mind. Because that's how we grow. When we share, what we're going through, or, situations in our lives, and we have those aha moments of why we do things the way that we do them, we are all interconnected. And so by, opening up, I know that we have touched, someone. I know we're saying it's my story, but it's his story too, y'all. He does the same thing. So, and here's the deal. It's okay.
It really is.
But recognize why you do it, and then open yourself up to receiving.
Yes.
Yeah, because people like to give too. Like, they like to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deny people their blessing from you not allowing them to be a blessing to you.
And it's so funny, like, the same person gave me a gift, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was something I really needed. And he was like, if you just let me do stuff for you. And I was like... So I think people really do have these guards up where they don't realize that they're not allowing themselves to receive. So I offer that to you, to open your mind, living differently in the world, and see if you are allowing people to offer you things and to receive, because it is just a big of a blessing as giving. And so we want to make sure that the world can go around, because, you know, if you have, would you teach me about having the closed hand, Henry?
Yeah.
You can give me the last little story before it's our last. You know that you had, this was like maybe months ago, but
you gotta go back on YouTube and find that
show. Basically, that you can't have a closed fist.
Absolutely.
That you have to be able to receive as well as give, or you basically kill God's law of reciprocity.
There you go. That's
you like
happens.
that?
Yeah, I like that. That was great.
See how that works? So Henry, if people would like to follow you and
just find Eileen. I'm wherever she is.
I like that answer. Everywhere you want to be.
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, and email me at hbolden3@yahoo.com.
hbolden3yahoo.com.
Yep.
That's where it's at. And follow him on all of his social media at Henry Bolden. And you can follow us on the Good Life Radio Show, tglradioshow.com. If you've ever missed a Monday and you want to check him out, you can go right there. TGL Radio Show. I know, shame. Shame for shame. We're going to take a quick break. And for shame, if you aren't receiving this international business tidbits from the SBA, because they are taking
here.
things. Yeah, they're in the building, and I'm really excited about it, because the Good Life wants to reach the world. So why not ask SBA on how to do it? You know, they help all those other businesses. I'm like, I want to syndicate. I want people in Africa to hear us.
Absolutely,
and Ireland. And Japan.
Now, see, I got to come up with something to do
and
over
Australia. We can sell your books.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of them.
We're going to sell his books and more. We're going to sell all kinds of things right here on the Good Life Radio Show. So make sure you stay tuned. SBA will be on the other side of the break. Hey. You never like... Y'all, he never likes to be in the picture, which is why I'm like, y'all see this back and forth. And so when I go back and cut the videos and you see half of his face for giving this great information, now you know why. Oh, let's take a selfie. But I don't want to be all up in your phone.
What was going on?
The mic, I couldn't hear me talking.
Oh, Lord.
Selfies everywhere. Now you have to share it with me, because I don't have it. He tells me I never take pictures with him.
Yeah.
He's like, I take pictures
on social media, she's standing up under the banner with people.
He said I take pictures with all of my other co-hosts but him.
Everybody.
I'm like,
they nephews,
but you know what?
nieces,
Maybe it's because you're in the middle.
Everybody.
Well, you used to be at the end,
neighbors.
so there wasn't a reason. Don't y'all like him better at the second segment? So he's technically first, because the first segment is where I kind of talk about the week. So he's technically the first segment of the week. I like it. And so we changed the format a little bit, and so all of our interviews will be the last segment of every show. I like it that way.
I love it that way.
Because we get the theme out, we get our whatever, and there's no, breaks in conversation. So we are listening, we are growing, and if you've ever missed a show or you want to share the show, y'all see Lee, he's working in here.
He is.
He's getting it done. He always wants me to ring this bell. You know what? Did y'all see what he did? He moved the camera. Oh, but it's all right. I still got a good shot.
What I did? Oh, I missed the things? Oh, I'm sorry. Dang.
It is okay.
I'm sorry. Sir, let's get you.
Reginald Harley, correct? Wait, let me pull it. Hi. If you don't mind sitting here, we're going to have us both in the camera shot. I video all of our shows.
Sounds like a great idea.
So people can find us and they can live the good life as well. Where's the internet? Perfect. I was about to ask you your title so I don't mess it up, but I don't have to. Ta-da! Oops. I was like, those headphones are loud. S-P-A. So is this have you been on radio before?
Yeah, probably before you were born.
Ah!
I was on your sister station. I actually had a radio show many years ago.
You did? I'm like, but I know you from somewhere else, though. I'm trying to figure out. Have you done...
McGee, did you? McGee.
My niece did.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yes.
That's how you know?
My daughter. I mean, she's a few years older than Jessica.
Okay, but I know you from somewhere else. Have you been doing the outreach tables for them for like years? For SBA? No?
I've been around for a long, long time.
I used to do the outreach for Louisiana Minority Supplier Development Council from 2010 to 2012.
With Fela.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did for 2 years.
I worked those the big event that they do, the matchmaking event.
The B2B,
annually. Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I worked that, and of course, always enjoy these social events.
I know.
As well.
I'm like, I've seen your face before.
Yeah, thank you. And many, many years ago, I hired your sister to do some work. She was probably straight out of school at that time. Did she go to MIT or something?
Yes,
like
she did go to MIT.
She just finished, and we hired her. She can give me a sign. Do I put this on?
Yes, you can. It'll give you the in and outs. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Motivation Monday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. You never have to miss a show. Why? Because we are live on Instagram. We are live on Facebook. You're like, wait, I don't know. It's a one-stop shopping. Go to tglradioshow.com, tglradioshow.com. Hit the live button. We are right there. It's live, like on right now, like live. And if you ever do miss a show, you can go to Watch Now, and it will bring you to our YouTube page, and you can check out all of our shows. You can go to our podcast. You can buy our TGL gear. We have shirts, we have aprons, we have all kinds of stuff. You can learn about us. You can see what our mission is, because we are here to help. And that's what it's about. We're just about spreading some positivity. And with that, y'all know, if I find something that works, I like to share the information. So we have Mr. Reginald Harley, who is the regional manager for SBA from the Office of International Trade. I was like, yes, I told y'all The Good Life was taking over the world, so I brought him in here to help us out so I can do it with each and every one of you. So we do want to open the line so that if you have a question or if you want to type it on Facebook, that we will answer those questions there as well. So the lines are 504-260-9265, 504-260-9265. If you want to just sit back and relax and listen, you can do that as well. But I just want to make sure that you knew that if you did have a question about for Mr. Reginald Harley with the SBA for international trade, that you could give us a call, 504-260-9265. Mr. Harley, welcome to The Good Life.
It's a wonderful time.
I am so excited to have you here because we love to pick your brain. So give us a little bit of information about exactly what the International Trade Office for the U.S. Small Business Administration does.
I'd be more than happy to. And let me say first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to come on the show and the opportunity just to share this information. Again, working for the federal government, I always say that as a taxpayer, which I assume you are,
yes,
that I work for you and all those that do pay taxes, and so that whatever I can provide, it's my role to do so. And in that regard, I wanted to have that take the chance to share that we at the SBA, at least in the role that I play, are in place in order to help small and medium-sized businesses understand how to go global. Essentially, what we're trying to do is simplify the process to make people understand that help people understand that, one, that they can do this without a lot of risk, and there are things that we can put in place to mitigate or reduce that risk, and two, that there are resources in place that will help identify where the market is for their service or their product out there beyond the U.S. shores.
You just hit on so many things that I was like, I had questions about, because, okay, say I have a great product. Well, of course, The Good Life is a great product, and
yes,
that's amazing. But like, say I had a food, in New Orleans, maybe, distributing, I had y'all know we have pies. Let's just say it was pies or something like that. And I'm like, it's an amazing product, but I don't know which countries would be the best countries for me to offer my product, or even the radio show, we could put it that, what countries are the best countries to, to seek, and how do I make that connection? It's just, I just feel like it's just too much. I'm confused. I'm overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And you're in good company in that regard. Well, here's the good news. There's a grant that is actually available, so that if you're interested in trying to answer that question of where can I sell these pies that I make, these delicious pies that are unique to this area that I'd like to share with the rest of the world, or at least some parts of it, that there's a grant available. It's called the STEP grant. It stands for the State Trade Expansion Program, where if you decide, for example, that you want to go to, let's say, the Fancy Food Show in New York City, which is a huge food show, and that in going to that show, you will take some of your products and your literature, and you will go around and meet all of these people from the U.S. and many countries abroad who are looking for new products. And you can go to New York. They also have trade shows in other parts of the world, so you don't have to limit yourself to New York, but I'm just mentioning this by way of example. Okay, that's the first step. And you can distribute your pies, give them out, sample, and you can meet people who may be interested in purchasing your product for their markets. And you don't even have to, buy an airline ticket to, France, or an airline ticket to UAE or anywhere. You can do this right there in New York and establish those relationships, figure it out, and then, even though you have to front the money for the airline ticket, the hotel, and the entry into the trade show, when you come back, you turn those receipts over to the appropriate entity here in Louisiana, and you'll be reimbursed for that expense. So it's like you can actually do the exploration at little or no cost.
Wow. And it proves that you're serious about it if you're willing to pay for it and then get reimbursed.
That's correct. That's correct.
I mean, it's business. So.
It's a wonderful opportunity, because, it's one thing to go to France and try to find people who may be interested in your product. That's a huge task. It's probably improbable. You really want to have people who are already motivated and already have money and have interest in finding new products. Right. And so those kinds of events are what happens. I have one event, of course, it's very, very esoteric in the sense that it's about work boats and everything that's about work boats, the tugs and everything out on the river. So anybody who has safety equipment, for example, is going to be at that event.
Well, they have lots of people who, because we have a lot of water industry here.
Absolutely.
So.
Anybody who's selling towels, who provides even a linen service, may want to be at that event, simply because they run into people who are providing services to the rigs and others out there. It's the idea of as we say, going global is it sounds like it's a huge undertaking, and it is. I don't want to underplay how much it takes to do it. It takes a lot of guts to do it.
Right.
But those that do reap great benefits. The benefits would include the fact that, first off, generally speaking, when you sell abroad, you can garner a higher markup on your product. One reason is because if you're from the United States, goods and services from the United States carry gravitas. It carries a great, it's made in America. And that means a lot in the rest of the world. And I don't think we really appreciate it until we do go outside of the country and start talking to people. You can charge more for your product or service because people know that when it's made in America, it has quality, and that people who are the producers of the resource stand behind what they're selling.
Wow.
So why not go global?
Why not go global?
And the other piece is we can help provide financing to help you do this, so that, let's say that you have some service or product you want to sell, and it's going to take 90 days for you to receive payment for that product. Everything else you've got figured out, and you're real comfortable with the foreign buyer that you have, but it's going to take 90 days. For you to have to sit there and wait for your money to come in 90 days is kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
We have,
especially for small businesses.
Absolutely. We have financing available that will allow you the working capital that you need to pay for the product or service and to cover your costs on the front end until you receive your payment on that which you provided. So we want to cover every component of this, every step of this process, so that you sleep at night and not have to worry about whether you're going to get that check or that wire transfer, and that it's going to, if it's a product, that it is actually going to get off the docks here in the United States and get off the dock in whatever country you're going to and into the hands of those that you're selling to. Because that's not always easy, but we also help in you understanding what needs to happen in order to make that a successful transaction.
So the SBA Office of International Trade will literally, I'm listening to you, Mr. Harley, like walks you through it and kind of handholds you. Okay, Reggie. Literally like handholds you through the process.
Yes, I work out of an office called the United States Export Assistance Center. It's located in the Custom House building down on Canal Street. That's the address you see there. And I have colleagues that work for Commercial Services, which is a part of the Department of Commerce. And so they're the ones in actuality who are connected to the embassies and a whole network worldwide that will help you. So if you're saying, I got these pies I want to sell, I just don't know how much I need to sell it for when I want to sell it into Israel. I don't know what the ingredient limitations may be when I'm looking at Israel.
Right.
And
because there's going to be different things
you.
in different countries.
That's right, exactly. But they can help you figure those things out. The pricing of your product and figuring out all the costs that may be involved, especially though you may know the cost that it would take to ship it from here to Texas. The cost is going to be very different shipping from here to Israel, and they would help you figure that out. So yes, those resources are available and many, many more.
Well, we have a problem, We have a problem, Reggie. You have eliminated all of our excuses. I don't know what y'all are listening to, but we have Reggie from the Office of International Trade from the SBA, and the only problem I can hear is that he has eliminated every excuse that we have ever made about international trade and exporting our goods and services. And New Orleans is a city, and I know they love the United States, products, but people across the world love New Orleans. They love the culture, they love the food, they love the music. So is it just items? Would it be music, or
Yes.
or what are things that you come into contact with that you're like, you know what, these things should be exported as well?
I can't think of anything that can't be exported.
Wow.
It cannot be exported. I mean, as you point out, the music, the seafood, the spices and seasonings, the praline candy, I can't think of anything
Y'all
that cannot
listening?
be.
Y'all listening?
And as it relates to services, as you point out, hospitality. Have a customer here who, used to be, who was focused on tourism, bringing in tourists from Scandinavian countries.
Wow.
It was because she actually spoke, I think, Danish, German, and one other language from that region. But her focus was bringing tourists in from those various countries into not just the United States, but into New Orleans.
Wow.
Because she developed a strategy that connected people, especially through the music, jazz in particular, to New Orleans, and between New Orleans and the Scandinavian countries. And that, for us, is an export. Because basically an export is bringing foreign money, if you will, into the United States. That's what we consider an export. And so that if it's a service like hospitality, that counts. If it's a service like education, I had a customer who sold educational curricula in other countries to school systems, that's an export.
Really?
Yeah, so services are really, really a growing market. Architectural services, engineering services, education, information technology, all of that. Yes.
So I
and
want
of
you
course,
to
Mr.
eliminate what you
Badi
think.
Murphy, if you know Mr. Badi Murphy, he does like the Jazz Fest and other festivals. He's been doing it in the United States for a long time. He now does festivals throughout the world. And that's an export.
That's an export. So we need to really eliminate what we thought exporting looked like, and we need to recreate it. Because Reggie here has opened my mind to living differently in the world, and I hope each and every one of you, for those businesses who may want to grow, sometimes, the market outside of the United States is tenfold what it is here.
Let's increase that. The United States represents 5% of the world population. That means that 95%
95
is outside. There you go, or something near that. So what you're saying is exactly correct. We are looking at if you're not going global, then you are limiting yourself in so many ways. Again, I don't want to leave here without emphasizing the fact that it does take some effort. It takes some real money in order to make this happen, but the return can be significant.
Anything worth doing is going to take effort.
Absolutely.
And you have to fund yourself a little bit. We have to put something behind yourself to see it grow. And you have to receive the information. So I hope each and every one of you, small businesses and anyone who has any service or item, anything you have, you can call and at least find out where you can go with that. And so how can they contact you?
You can contact me by calling my phone number at 504-589-2035. I also have a cell phone number where I am accessible because I'm not always in the office at 202-906-0217. And my email address as well, reginald.harley@sba.gov.
And we will be having all of this information online. So follow The Good Life Radio Show at TGL Radio Show, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I hope you are receiving this information because that's what we wanted to deliver. We wanted to deliver the good life and open your mind to living differently in the world and offer your goods and services literally to the world. And we can do that right here with the SBA, the New Orleans Office of International Trade. So thank you so much, Reginald, for being here. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you opening our minds. This week is receiving. We're going to receive it on so many levels. So make sure you tune in for the entire week. You can catch us at tglradioshow.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. We're out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Great information.
Yes, and I'm serious. It is. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get across how, in particular, African Americans are underrepresented in this whole industry when it comes to international trade. I'm just sorry about that because
that's okay. Tell us now.
I know the reason is, at least in part, is because when you go to do this, you don't see a lot of people that look like you and I that are involved. And so even those that preceded me in this job didn't look like us. Sometimes that helps when you see somebody that looks like us, that's already involved. They're approachable. They may know where you're coming from already, and they know the barriers that you may have to overcome. They may be a little different from those of an Asian or an Arab person. And if I know we gotta go, but I can talk about this an awful lot.
He's always late, so we have like a minute or two. But seriously, I'm gonna ask you about like how do I what is the word I'm looking for?
Well, let me interrupt you by saying that we actually have what's called Are You Export Ready? Sort of a test that you can go to. So you can take that and figure out where you are on the scale. If you're not yet ready for export, then you'll know where you are and what you need to do in order to get ready.
I was actually speaking to a friend, and they said, with regard to radio, they said one of the reach outs could be actually with the troops overseas because so many of us want to listen. I know, like they want to listen to, something here.
Absolutely.
But how would you export a radio show?
Yeah, that's not quite an export, except that
see, I always
to the
throw
troops,
something at you.
to the troops.
Yeah, but
but
they wanted to hear me in France.
Lee and I were talking before about who was it? Damon Baptiste.
Yeah, Damon.
And the exporting of, what is it called, New Orleans music, or whatever the name of his show is, and how he's now doing that in 2 or 3 countries in Africa. And he's producing a show like that. It's still South Africa, but it's about bringing South African music to the South Africans, and also New Orleans music to South Africa.
Well, thank
so
you
it's a great
so
thing.
much.
And,
did y'all get all that? Yes.
All right.
We had an amazing show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. It's a good life, y'all. Go to tglradioshow.com to see the full show if you missed anything. Thanks so much, y'all. Hey, Zachary. Good morning, Zachary, Louisiana. Thank you so much, y'all. I'm out.